Hello. I say good evening or good morning if you're in Asia. My name is Dan Pan. I'm Haddee Education founder. Today we have Noah and Phil with us and our AI internship and bootcamp training leaders. Okay, Noah, want to say a couple words about yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone. Thanks so much, Dana, for having us today. And it's so nice to see all you here. My name is Noah. I'm the co-founder of WeKruit. I will talk more about our company later. And I also have our colleague Phil here. And come say hi.
Okay,
Hey everyone.
All right,
very
so shall I share the screen and then let's get started?
okay. Yeah. So Phil, do you want to say a couple words?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wonderful. I'll do a more introduction when it comes to it. But hi everyone. Good to see you all here. Hopefully the latest news doesn't terrify everyone. No, we've been through it. So yeah.
Okay, so I will share the screen for a couple minutes and then we can just to tell everybody a little bit about our company. So yeah, you guys can Google us, Haddee Education, and the address associated with Google My Business. It's in San Diego. It's a physical center right now, and we also have another physical center right next to UC Berkeley. I'm sitting here. Very close to UC Berkeley. I live in Berkeley right now, and both my kids got into UC Berkeley with computer science, and one just graduated, and the other one still enrolled in school. And I lived in San Diego for 27 years. I used to lead very important projects for high-tech company Qualcomm. So and then many of the parents know about us. I'm also actually volunteer lead for UC Berkeley Mandarin speaking parents group. And starting 2021, we have WeChat groups for the admitted parents and enrolled parents and to answer incoming freshman or freshman parent questions about school and life. So I think some of them might be the UC Berkeley parents and students as well. Um, we mainly focus on the company. You can take a look at it. Okay, this is more a WeChat or mobile version of it. We support students with a variety of the courses, and we also have internship for high school students with part of the counseling programs. And we have tons of educators and SAT, college counseling, essay, and you name it. So I'm not going to get into too much details about it. And we also have an AI version of it. It's not really like, it's really a face when here it's all linked and where you can chat with me regarding whatever you need. And we also have a community support for all the UC Berkeley parents through our AI interface website. So, okay, I will stop share and here you go, Noah, and you can take it over.
All right, thank you, Dana. I will share my screen. All right, can you guys see it? Perfect. Okay, so again, hi everyone. Thanks so much for being here today. Um, I know many of you here because probably you are thinking about your future in tech industry or your kids' future in tech industry. Either it's computer science, data, product, or maybe just start your own company, be an entrepreneur. And I believe you have been heard lots of the news about how hard it is to get a job right now for the market. Unfortunately, I think the reality is it is tough. And but is it impossible to get a job nowadays? I don't really think so. And that's why we are here to show you how we can support you or help you to win this environment. And over the next 40 minutes or ish, I'll walk you through what has been changed, what's our current job market, how should you prepare, what's the overall timeline, and then how our program can help you to stand out. So I'll do a quick intro of ourselves. WeKruit is an AI-powered career training company, and our mission is very simple. We want to turn your potential into proofs. A lot of students actually, I think they are very smart and they have potential. They work really hard. It's just that due to their communication skills or the nature of lack of confidence, they never have a chance to show their capabilities to the recruiters or the hire managers. Um, it's very sad, and that's one of the key reasons why we started the company. We would really want to give everyone a chance to show off themselves and then to capture the opportunities that they should have. So in the past 5 years, we have helped students from UCLA, USC, U Chicago, Yale, London Business School to land their dream jobs. And what helps them to land all those job offers is not just their school names, but also, their efforts and the skills that we have been built together with them. So for today's agenda, we'll give you a quick overview of the career development and the timeline, and we'll dive into the training program. And also we'll have Dan to do analysis of the current new H-1B visa. And we'll do a Q&A. Well, I would also want to say that while I'm talking, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the chat and I will answer them right away. So to start with, here's a question for you. When you hear computer science, what's the first job comes into your mind? I would assume most people would say software engineer, and I think it is true. That's the most common one, and I think it's still the one that's being demanded the most. It's like a common ground for everything else, and I think that's the nature of computer science, is that you learn the skills, you learn the mindset, and then you are able to choose whatever branch you want to dive into in the future. So no matter you want to be like you want to work into AI ML engineering, I have working with some students, and they are now the ones that are experimenting with, chatbots or building systems that I recommend you the next TikTok videos, and may others lean into data science. You need to tell um, your managers what happened to our current revenues, why people are not buying our products, what have been changed. And also you could work as a product manager, right? It will be more like you are asking about what feature should we develop and why should we develop this? And you will talk with the UI UX designers, the engineers, and also the customers, the users themselves. And I think cybersecurity is also a trending one right now because the raising of AI, right? So everyone is worried about the data privacy. So it's extremely important to have the data security. And in the end, there is entrepreneurship. I think it is really easy nowadays to start a company, especially with the help of AI. If you know how to code, with some tools help, that you could just start building your own prototypes and try the business model. If it works, then you could start your own company. And I think it's very exciting. So, but today I will focus on software engineer, because like I said, it's still the most demanded and common jobs on the market right now. And a lot of people picture this glamorous Silicon Valley coder lifestyle, right? But in reality, your day one may just look like you want to fix a bug that broke the login button, and that button could be a trouble for thousands of people that want to use the system. You will also spend a lot of time with your teammates to do the code reviews, where you and your teammates will point out each other's mistakes or just do a proof for the code. At first it's strange, but I think that's the time where you get or you'll grow the fastest. And you will start to design small systems, writing your API and calls, and also optimize performance. And yes, sometimes you may spend, 3 hours or each to hunt down some small bugs, but that's the daily job. And now let's talk about the outcomes. What do people go into software engineer? Well, I think the progression is pretty clear. You start as a junior and then you do the senior, then maybe you could become the person who can lead a small team or even architecturing the big systems. And some of my peers right now are engineer and managers, or they have been starting their own companies as the CTOs. And I think the main part that drives a lot of people into this job is also salary. It's very, very good paid. Even for the entry-level engineers, it often starts with from 80K to 150K range. And if you stay with it, the middle level could even double that. And for the top level engineers, you can make as much as a doctor or a lawyer. But I think here's the catch. It's it's never enough to find a job just saying that you study computer science. Because everyone in the room or everyone who applied for the job probably have the same degree as you do. So what makes you actually stand out is being able to say, I built this, I deployed this, and here's the impact of it. That's what actually the value is of you. And that's exactly why we'll talk more about our programs later on. That you don't just learn a theory, you want to ship it, and you will live with a deploy project code that runs in production that you could show people, you could interact with the users, you can make real world impacts, and you could expand it with the recruiters or the hiring managers, or even your peers, or just someone that you want to impress with confidence. So we'll go talk about the job market right now. It's tough. It's not the time period where 3, 4 years ago that as long as you know how to code, you can get a job. Um, there are thousands of people applying for the jobs every minute, every hours. And the current acceptance rate is really, really low. It's only 1.2% that people could find a job that nowadays. Um, so how's the whole application looks like if you apply a resume, what have been going through, and then how many rounds of interview you can do. So since right now all those company positions are really flooded with applications, so that's why the companies are using the system called applicant tracking system. It's basically a automatic system that's matching your the keywords on your resume with their requirements. Some of the candidates are really, really strong, but they never pass the resume screening process because they can't get a match with the system. And even if you make it through, there is also HR that are reading through probably 500 to 800 resumes per day. And then for each resume, they could go glimpse through it 10 seconds. So your resume really matters. You need to catch their eyes within 10 seconds. On the first glimpse, you need to know you are good at this. And then if you pass, we'll hit with an OA, where we call it is online assessments and also technical screens. And there could be multiple rounds of interviews. It could be virtual or on-site. It depends on the company. But usually we'll spend a whole day and back to back. It could be 4 to 6 hours, or it could be 2 days also. And I think the side news is that you're not only competing with your peers, especially if you're applying for a new grad positions, because people who get laid off from those big name companies also count as new grads. So you're also competing with those experienced people. And um, if you really want to compete with them, I think the key fact that backs to what I mentioned before is that you could show to the interviewer that you are not only a student, you actually know how to code. You're a programmer. You're a self-driven developer. You know what the working space is gonna be. You know what the skills you need. You know who you should be talking to while you're doing the works. Um, and yeah, so for the timeline wise, I would say if you are a freshman, you want to start as early as possible. If you are a freshman year or sophomore year students, you want to start to building your foundations right now. You want to start with some set projects to start with so you could have stuff to write on your resume and show the companies that you could show your skills. Most of them skills are not serious. You will be actually like frameworks or all those system designs techniques that you could be used of. And then start baby steps. Start with something small. You could, after you have all those projects and resume revised, you could start to applying for some small startups. Even if it's unpaid, totally fine. But you want to have a real world working experience on your resume first. And then you could snowballing that. You could have those experience with them. You could apply for bigger companies. And then you really want to secure your intern position when you're junior year summer, because you don't want to fight for the new grad positions. As we talked, it will be very, very tough for you. So to summarize, I think for the first and second year, you want to build your resumes that so you could pass the first screening process, and then you land a job. Could be a small company's internship, but you could use that internship to leverage it and then get you into the past the big company's resume screening process, and then secure that internship, and then probably fed for the return offer. So for year 4, you'll be fine. And I'll pass it to Phil to talk about how our training programs can help you throughout this process. And yeah.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Noah. So yeah, to start with, the initiative why we bring out this solution, our training program, the one that will actually mock the real world work experience with patients mentorship, is because y'all get the same lectures from whatever school you're in, UC Berkeley, Stanford, CMU, and you all get the same degree. So it is really hard for our candidates, especially for us international students, to actually stand out. So it is crucial, as Noah said, that you have an experience on your resume to tell HR that you're capable of doing industry level projects. And and in the interview, you tell whoever the interviewer is that you are capable of doing all this industry level and big scale projects. So yeah, the solution will be our training program. It will be a work-like format where we'll have weekly sprints, not just lectures, and you'll have to talk to users end to end, and you have to come up with a design documents, and then you have to explore on all the potential solutions and compare and analyze the trade-off. And at the end, you come down to implementation and optimizations with code review that the mentor will provide you with. And at the same time, you will work with the colleagues. Some of them will be industry mentors in FAANG, and at the end, you'll have something on your portfolio that you should be proud of, and inside the interview, everyone should be asking you about. And inside the whole program, we'll host a weekly one-on-one coaching where we primarily do the code review in GitHub, just like what we do in industry, where we dig into what's the potential leak and potential problem in your code and let you know how to improve. And finally, since this major goal is to get you a job, we'll provide interview prep and resume optimization to help your resume being seen by HR and get your interview aced. And the last thing is the duration will be roughly 10 weeks, starting from October 4th, fully online. And yeah, I'm Phil. Good to talk to you all. I am currently a senior engineer in one of the biggest tech company, and I have been leading 5 global solutions that have been widely used that has more than millions of usage every single day. And at the same time, I was also involved in a few startups that's aggregately raised for more than $50 million. And this is where I'm came from. And I can tell you about the entrepreneur perspective and how the company perspectives are changing today. And finally, I've been mentoring students since my school years. I've been doing the TA and then helping a lot of my friends to get their jobs through interview and resumes. So I've seen a lot of successful cases with this mindset and this methodology. Okay, so who's this program is for? The ideal candidates would be the high school kids, but yeah, unfortunately, the most fit candidate for this program is high school kids. Everything is have been moved to a lot earlier. But if you're a college freshman and sophomore, don't feel bad. It's also a good time. You're still a lot earlier than most of the candidates, and you should have some basic understanding on the syntax and the algorithm in Python, JavaScript, and last and not least, you should be self-motivated enough to build real projects because nowadays in big companies, especially in big tech companies, you are in charge of a whole area and you are responsible for whatever problem that comes up and you have to find a solution and again analyze the trade-off and understand the requirement, everything. So you should be self-motivated enough to do the real projects instead of waiting for instructions from instructor, just like what you will be doing in class in school, and waiting for whatever to do, and then just follow the instruction. And why do you need this? Again, we've been stressing this for so many times. It's because degree nowadays is not the thing you can differentiate. Even student in big names, UC Berkeley, CMU, Stanford, Caltech, whatsoever. It is hard for international students, especially, to get a job because everyone's pretty much the same. And you need a real project experience on your resume and in your interview, you can talk about it. So it actually competes with the rest of high quality candidates that are doing maybe 4.0 GPA in schools and doing a lot of research papers. Lastly, starting early and do whatever that's needed in the area is essential. It's no longer a time where you just do a two-sum legal problem. You should be able to get an Amazon 200K plus package time. You should learn about latest skills in AI and large scale system will actually help you stand out. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the program schedule and the application. So as mentioned, it will start from October 4th. It will be 10 weeks and it will be quite intensive. It will be as much as a class you will be doing in school. And I promise that you will learn a lot more than school, whatever you can learn from the school. You will not just touch on REST API, create updates, a simple DB operation. It will be a large scale industry level thing where you actually learn about how it works in real life. And the weekly commitment is roughly 8 to 10 hours besides the self-learning. And we'll host the weekly sprint meeting and the one-on-one check-in. And finally, since this will be a internship like or a real world like experience for you, we will be requiring a application process where you have to submit application with resume and ideally your transcripts. And then you will go through 1 or 2 rounds of technical interviews, most likely Python or JavaScript basics, Go language, C++ or Java is also fine. And finally, you will receive a notification on our decision within 48 hours after the interview. And this will be limited positions because the methodology would not be applied to everyone. You have to be one of the top candidates who really need this and to get into the best position. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deep in whatever that we will be building for that 10 weeks and tell about it, how it fit today's requirement from big company. So I'll share a little bit about the experience that will be required maybe in 2022. So in 2022, if you are able to do a simple query in MySQL database, you might be able to get an interview. And if within the interview you are able to talk about some basic asynchronous operation and maybe solve 1 or 2 legal median problem, you will get a huge package from big tech company. But that's not the case anymore. Nowadays, everyone everyone is required to do a full stack thing, and you should be able to explore some deep thing. So even for a junior software developer, you're not only responsible for CRUD right now because nowadays with AI changes and AI tools, it's so easy for a junior to just build simple endpoint. So our program is dedicated to bring you from a product view to a deep implementation level. So you will be talking to a lot of end-to-end users to understand the whole product, which is another big skills in communications where most engineers are lacking. And then you will need to discuss with the tech lead about these options and the decisions for making the implementation and design implementation. And finally, you will work on the details. And we will cover more than just front end or more than just back end. It will be a full stack and AI integrated. We'll talk about REST endpoint and with some basic start ground for you to get into the project and get familiar with the requirements. And then it will be about streaming and async processing. This is actually one of the biggest skills and keywords that big tech companies are looking for because with AI changes such as ChatGPT, Claude, I hope you all have been using it. It's essential to change the user experience by providing streamlined and real-time experience. So we no longer have to wait forever for the response, and we just stream everything. And asynchronous process is more of the basic foundation nowadays, not an advanced topic for new grade anymore. So that will be just another cyber hot topic. And in week 4, we'll talk about talk a little bit more about WebSocket connection and RPC, where the big companies are actually using in most of the large scale projects to decrease the latency and increase the performance in the systems. And we'll be creating our first demo using WebSocket endpoint for live message. And in the week 5, we come into AI world Hopefully you all know what LM is and know what ChatGPT is. We are building we are building the AI application infrastructure behind the scene, from the ground. So we'll be learning a little bit about RAG while we have to optimize the document indexing and the whole retrieval pipeline or the data flywheel on our own. And we'll also talk a little bit about dynamic tool calls like MCPs or whatsoever, so that you know what exactly is going on in the industry. Although as a new graduate, you would not, most likely you're not required to know what exactly is happening under the scene on the math level, but as a developer or as an engineer, it's crucial for you to know about it. And I know most schools would not involve this topic in their lectures in their existing classes. And finally, we'll do some fun stuff. The front end, we'll learn React, one of the most used framework in the industry, as I observe. And then we'll do some streaming integration. This will be a little bit hard for integrating front end and back end. And finally, we'll do some end-to-end testing to make sure everything is working fine. And then to introduce you about CI/CD pipeline whatsoever, to give you a more comprehensive view of how does it look like in the industry to launch and deploy a product. And finally, we'll have our final demo where we will train you about communication skills in the workspace. Is more than just implementation that can gain you traction. It's more important about letting your manager, letting your boss know about what you've been doing and share the impacts throughout the whole organizations. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about how does it will look like on your resume at the end, the deliverable that we'll be getting from the program. So it will be a full stack application, but Python based and React front end deployed to production where people will actually use. It will be an AI voice assistant. You can try it on ChatGPT. If you're amazed on how crazy the things it can be doing right now, you can build it from the ground on your own. And then it will include the most advanced keywords and skills that will be needed in the industry that can actually help you pass the ATS system for your resume, such as WebSocket, streaming RAG, etc. Excuse me. And at the same time, um, in terms of the comprehensive view of a product, will help you build a CI/CD pipeline and let you learn about how does it look like in the real workspace, how to collab on GitHub, and how to raise a PR and write review. And of course, technical documentation will be something not just for PM right now. Everything is interdisciplinary. As a developer, you are responsible even to write a technical documentation and demo presentation for the communication, and finally the resume enhancement. We want to get you a job. We want to get you an interview. We want you to be seen by others. All right, that's pretty much it for a quick introduction of the program. Hopefully, it can give y'all a better understanding of what's going on in the industry, what's required from the tech companies, and let's have Dandan here to talk a little bit more about the H-1B visa policy.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Noah. Great presentation. So I want you guys to assure that the technical capability of the team, and we can disclose which like a giant tech, but it's like the giant tech, and the one I most respect. So, and I know they have the eye for the best talent, and I also have the eye for the best talents. So you will not be disappointed. Okay. So before I talk about that, I want to share with you something. I'm going to share. Okay. And why we're here. We're here is because as an educational company that we are a little bit different from many other education company. We do provide internship to our counseling students. And I want to show you a few websites. The website here, about us. And the website is built by our interns. And I think many of them put Haddee as part of their experience. And they built during COVID, the software requirements for the Haddee, which is very complex because it's, you can show you here, have all the multi-user. The parent can link to the students and teachers can do the one-on-one group and payment, very complicated. That software requirement document and version 1.0 were done by interns. So now where they are, MIT, NYU, out of the UPenn, Wharton, working in private equity. Wall Street first job was in Deutsche Bank, UC Berkeley, graduate, and UC San Diego, UCLA. So that's like first, we call it Magnificent Seven, right? Okay. So, and since then, what they have built, what our interns have built, I'll show you one by one very quickly. This is the prototype that was built 2024. Okay, because the AI is a little bit more mature. 2023, 6 months after GPT debut, we build an AI for SAT tutoring, and that has not been commercialized. This one, the prototype, more kind of AI avatar. It's all at the back end, it's all my voice and our company's information. If you type here, the answer is more concise, it's our tone, English or Chinese speaking, you know, and we have our own database, and the prototype was built by our interns, okay? This year, actually, that's why one of the reasons we got together, the interns build because we see the market and the students having hard time getting jobs. So we build this, it's not commercialized, and where you can enhance your resume and see what skills are lacking and help you out. But it's all AI driven. This is the training is a little bit different because they come in with some technical capability, okay, especially the leader. Of course, out of them, 16 students attend, maybe 3 or 4 survive, okay, because they can make it. And because it's counseling students, we allow them to in, and some are very technical, they make it. And we have our first very early intern who helped us now, got into UC Berkeley. And I think he joined in 9th grade, and he helped us during some events for welcoming freshmen. And then his mom told me his internship, and he told me as well at Haddee really helped. So how can you know we have so many interns? You go on typing Haddee, and you see some are teachers, most of them are interns. You can look at it. I think I saw Ryan's name there. Yeah. Undergraduate research at UCSC. That's the student who built the 1.0 of Haddee. So everybody worked out there, and there's like, we have 10 of them, 10. So you get into a network of this. So why we're here? We're here is because non-counseling students, the parents always ping me, say, Dan, also college students, especially this past couple of years, it's very, very, very difficult to find jobs and find internships, very different from during COVID. Everybody pinging me. And I have a little bit of challenge time to decide whether we open up. It is a paid program. It's an internship and the career training. So I'll show you the details here. And I'm very careful with the wording because I know there's some company out there, and especially charging international students a lot of money, and just on paper, not really taught them anything. I personally know some victims, students from UC Berkeley, and joined the scam program. And there are a lot of parents coming to my WeChat groups and joining in. Some like, the parents groups, US 实习, and we kick them out. There are many, many of them. So I want to make sure, because my own personal, you can Google me all the time, and we have really good reviews. You saw, like, literally, and there are reviews from interns, 250 something reviews. So any program I will not allow to damage our reputation, because all the programs we provide are authentic, sincere, and we have good educators. That's the ideology. That's my principle of founding the education company. So I always have trouble to launching a paid internship and boot camp. Okay, internship, you're supposed to do the work, but we are here is we are creating opportunities for the educators from the industry, and everybody puts a lot of work. So I think it's it's okay to charge a little bit of money, but it's more a project experience and the boot camp training and kind of internship slash, it's a kind of working experience, working on the real thing. So if your code like GitHub later on, and you can show the recruiters from those, top, unicorn companies, small startups and big companies that what you have done, you can explain to them that what you have built. And the most important, and one question, one of the big 7, which is Tesla, will ask is what problems have you solved? Okay. So if you want to pass Tesla to interview, I'm very familiar with Tesla interview because my son and pretty much got pulled into Palo Alto going through all these interviews, but he doesn't want to do CS anymore. So he want to pursue theoretical math. And but I know that very well. And those companies want you to solve problem. What problem have you solved? Okay. And I know, Meta, Google, and, one of, I can show you when we have a nonprofit as well. And our board of director is at Google. But myself, I have 20 years experience of working at high-tech companies, which is, it's, let me see, it's, I think you guys know, it's Qualcomm, okay, more on semiconductor. And some of my peers are working at NVIDIA as VP. So with all said, I know the high tech very well. And I always have passion to help students because some of our counseling students are in college now. They are also facing challenges. So that's the initial motivation of launching the program. But we want to do the well. We just don't want to, be considered. It's like, oh, it's like I come in and pay the money. It's no use. And I assure you, you will have good results. But the problem is, it's not you use money to buy any experience. Completely not like that. We will go through the interview. Not everybody will be accepted. You will commit to the number of hours. You will do a good job, and that's your project. And not only talk about technical side, you can also talk about requirement side, talk about process side, talk about the tools you have used, all those words, the skills, the programming language, the requirements process, the debugging process, management, kind of like dependency management, functional testing, performance testing, all the stuff that related building an engineering project, you will be exposed to it. And then you can categorize it, and we can help you putting in the right words so you can pass at least the resume screen, which is the most hard. Even though you can come to me, and my husband is working for another very, very, very big, say, okay, Dan, can your husband, can you guys help me do an internal referral? It's not much use. At the end, the other side, they have a system, you know what I mean? To have to go through it. The moment I used to recruit, I hired a lot of people at Qualcomm, many, many people. And I know, and I have a whole stack of applicants. At that time, it's not even this kind of like, AI or that kind of craziness of applicants. I already is very have hard challenges, right? I depend on system to do some recommendations. So if you don't pass the system, don't pass the recruiter. And my HR counterpart will call me, hey, Dan, this sounds like a good candidate, right? So with all said, we want to assure that you have a very, very good experience. You learn the technical skills. You also learn how to seek help. If you don't know, you don't assume you know, okay? That's very, very, very bad when you work. I'm not an engineer, but I work in tech. I never assume. You ask questions, and then you figure out by yourself or with a team, and you also learn how to respect other people's time and collaboration. Collaboration, very, very important, and be on time. If you join the live session and turn on the camera and, to learn things with each other. And then if you said you're going to deliver something, you will deliver it, because if you work as a team or you work on your own. With that said, I think I said it enough. I want to emphasize, really, this is for students to train, and this is to meet all the parents and students' request for us to launch more kind of like a project-based internship and boot camp, etc. But it is a paid program, so I want to disclose that, okay? So I said a lot. So any questions for three of us? With the visa, we already talked about it. I'm not going to say much because things always changing. But I think the main challenge for the US is for H-1B visa coming out of US for the workers who do not have a US degree. Okay, and I know the situation very, very well. Okay, I used to work in our department at the peak. 80% of us, I was on H-1B as well, but I was US educated. Many of them are not US educated, and I don't think we should go, to talk about this, what the problem. But I think you guys all know, it's public information, that Indians is being hit very badly. If you go onto YouTube, it's everywhere. And Indian hostess and bloggers are talking about how the US and Indian relationship is going to be hit, because many of them apply for H-1B as a contractor and coming here. So I feel that's more target to that crowd. It's not for us, because we are here and pursuing a very challenging degree from the Berkeley, the CMUs, the USCs, right? So I don't feel that's a huge impact. But if they impose 100,000 for application fee for the employer, the big companies, to them, it's not much money. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but small companies going to hurt. The startups going to hurt. But I'm not going to comment, because lawsuit going to come in and go after Trump. And tomorrow things will change. Just last night versus this morning and versus 3 hours ago, things have changed completely. So we're not going to explain the H-1B here too much. So we're going to open up for the parents and students ask questions. You can always type in here as well, what questions, and maybe for Mr. Phil and Noah and myself, okay?
All right, thanks so much. Then we have a sign up page. Let me share the screen real quick, actually. Okay, I will leave it this here. So if you wanna apply for the program, you could just scan the QR code, or you could just reach out to Denon.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we're gonna send the sign up to the what's called all the attendees through email.
Perfect. So registrations. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Feel free to open up your unmute or just drop message in the chat. Or we could just start with where you come from, what's your major, what years are you, what kind of job you are looking for, what's your current challenges.
Yeah, it usually take a couple of minutes. Every single meeting, the first time they ask questions. Yeah. So one thing I want to also talk to you a little bit about, at UC Berkeley, there are, at least this year, there are 4 students got a job into OpenAI. And then at the group, parents ask me what their background, but if you go to LinkedIn, you can always find. And there's a common thread of those students getting in top jobs is they all have working experience. So, and everybody starts from somewhere.
I totally agree with that. You need to start somewhere.
Yeah, you're not gonna go just say, hey, I can get into FAANG or high paying job right away. It's the chance, unless there's a back door, okay?
That's
Yeah.
the only thing. It's the first step is always the hardest. And then
Mhm.
once you start it, you're on the track.
Yeah. So you need to have some experience. So that's why we're here, to help you build that experience. Because you can go to like you can join our counseling internship, but that's kind of just doing the work. And then some students who are, so our counseling, we have students from graduate students, we have high school students, and it doesn't matter, somebody who has coding background, they will build. I can show you all this stuff are built by the kids, but there's not rigorous training like here. And so more than half of them just drop out in between, because they come in, they want to have a little bit, but they don't have that, kind of training. So this is very different. This is, we have to interview. We don't take every single applicant. We will interview. You apply, we interview. Then we decide whether you're a right fit. and there will be commitment of hours. Okay, so how many hours required? Yeah, so Noah?
Yeah, like we mentioned, it would vary from 8 to 10 hours per week. For those hours we'll have group sessions on Saturday where we do team meetings. We'll talk about the techniques you are gonna be used for the current tasks, and also we'll do individual meetings, individual sessions with the supervisor or the senior engineers to talk about review the code, right? And then discuss is there any challenge that they're facing, and as the rest of the time will just be working individually on the codes and then discuss with the teammates and also talk to the PM and UX, just like um, a part-time job, I would say. But
Yeah,
to
that's
answer
good.
to answer the question, I would say 8 to 10 hours per week.
Yeah, it's like a part-time job. That's
Yeah.
very good.
And I
Mhm.
see a lot of people are using Chinese names, so don't be shy if you are more comfortable with Mandarin. We're using English mostly because there are some foreign parents here, so we want to make sure y'all have a chance to understand what's going on and then ask the question you want. So don't be shy.
Yeah, you can also type the questions in Mandarin. I think we three. Phil, you know Mandarin, right?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay. Phil, yeah. We all speak. Yeah. Yeah, some students might be ABC, so they all don't know. Yeah. So that's the many hours. Any other questions? No questions at all?
But I mean, they're all here, so they gotta
Yeah.
wanna ask me.
Yeah. You want to turn on your microphone? No question? That's it? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, computer, if you are looking for, this is for computer science, for computer engineering, right? The job market has changed. We all know that. I don't have to repeat it. And Noah has showed the data. So I'm going to tell you the reality. From the industry point of view, if you want to land a job and after you graduate 4 years, you need a very nice paid intern junior year. Then you can get return offer. Okay? Return offer is the company, all the fresh grad, not all, many companies, especially big companies, the Metas, the Googles, Amazons, yeah. They will also need a return offer. So let me finish it. For you to finish, to get a good paid job in junior year, you will have to work freshman or sophomore somewhere to meaningful work or through and then to land into that junior. So we are here to help you if you're looking for the next summer. That's why we rushed this right now. We could wait for summer, but we rushed for you to get an intern or job next summer. Okay, so how many students will you recruit in this program? Very good.
Very good question. We are looking for, I would say around 6-ish, because we really want to keep it as a small team where we could make sure everyone get enough training and then have a good experience with the whole program. And I think to answer back the time effort and the whole application process, I think don't be discouraged if there is an interview process. I think it would still be a very valuable because you have to pay for a professional to interview online and usually charge from 200 to 300 bucks. And that's a free practice. So I think if you're interested or you're looking for a job, just apply for it, and then we'll also able to see your resumes, and we could give you feedbacks after the interview about how your resume looks like, and then it's like you could treat it as a mock interview session for practice. So I would say it's a very good practice to prepare for the future. So don't be discouraged. Um, Scan the QR code, apply for it.
Yeah, so now I feel so after the training, the whole program is that they not only build the project, we will also
Mhm.
help them to enhance their resume.
Yeah,
Right,
for
this is very important, right? And also will help them prepare for the interview, right?
So after the whole program, we'll make sure that your resume could pass the screening process. So at least you can get to talk to the real people. That's sad to say, but yeah. And we'll also help all those candidates or students to have the ability to really talk through what they have been done in the past. Because what I've been seeing a lot from the students is that they're too shy to show off themselves or to talk about the details in their projects. It's actually very important that it's like a question that I got asked from some students because recently it's career fair seasons for lots of schools like USC, CMU, etc. And students don't know what to do during the career fair. That's because they are not familiar with their projects. Because you could totally talk to the recruiters and show them what you did in the past. It's much better than you just pass a resume to them. They won't remember you. There are thousands of resumes there, and all of them are from your peers. So how could you stand out from your peers? It's by showing, I actually did this, and just show the website to them, and then point them an actual product or a project that you did, and show them your thinking process. You could talk a lot with them, and then by that amount of time, they will remember you. It's not like you just pass them a resume and then that's it. So take advantage of this. And that's actually the importance or the crucial parts of attending the career fairs is that you actually talk to people, not just pass a resume. And we'll make sure that after you finish this program, you will have this ability and have the stuff that you could show people around and build the connections, build a network from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, students, you can, if you have time, you can, a lot of them working on school projects, you can build something on your own, no problem.
Yeah.
But here is just like, I work out, I have a trainer, right? We have students can apply for college themselves, and we have college counselor. And some people get sick, they treat themselves, but some go to doctors, right? So this is a free world. It's that right now we are just setting up the training for the right mentors to train the students. So you don't get lost, and then, and we will say, hey, your code, I have a word. Sometimes, some code is messy, right? Even though I don't write code, but I heard comments like, this doesn't have the hygiene. It's very messy, right? So you have the right people, and they have gone through this, they have experienced it, they can show you the right way of doing it. It's not like just say doing, coding exactly, but the thinking process of building an end-to-end product, the front end to the back end database and security, and then you have something to show. That's right, then Noah said you can show on the app to the recruiters.
Yeah.
Is it okay I ask a question from the voice channel here?
Yeah, please.
I just heard about this when you go to job fair, and there's a great point that you just don't pass your resume, you get something to talk to them about. I think this relates to a bigger topic about networking and get referrals.
Mhm.
Do you plan to also train the students how to do that better? And also, second question is, related is how important is it, do you think, is the networking and getting referrals from the companies you apply for? Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking that question. I think that's a great question. And I think that's especially something that for international students that are lacking. It's like the ability to do the networks and then talk to people. Um,
Yeah, I can answer that a little bit. So, usually from my observation, engineers are shy and not that good at communications. Usually it's because they're not doing the thing from a comprehensive perspective. They only know what they're doing instead of giving a comprehensive view, which leads to the lack of confidence to showcase and even bluff a little bit more during the conversation, especially for East Asia students, not like Indian kids. I know they're really good at those. So
Mhm.
being able to see something from a comprehensive view and get trained at the end of the program is exactly what we're doing to help you to get the ability to build your own network. So yes, to your questions, first questions, yes, we will be training you on how to get this network. And to the second question, how important the network could be. Uh, from my experience, it's crazily important. Especially today, there are so many open jobs out there, and at the same time, there are so many applicants. But if you're able to get a good network who know exactly which group is hiring during a lunch inside the company, that's something you will not get from the public. So being able to know someone from the company who has a great connection inside the companies will help you get a lot more info difference compared to the other candidates. So yes, it will be super important for you to create your own strong network so that when people hear something going on or hear some teams are hiring, they first come to you saying, "Oh, here's an opportunity. You can apply inside, or I'll just hand your resume over to the hiring manager." And that's the most cases I've been seeing how people get hired today in my company. And not gonna lie, if you're applying for the public job, publicly open job, compete with thousands and thousands of candidates, it will be hard. But if you know someone, even though if you're not that good, you get a lot more chance compared to the others.
Yeah,
Hopefully that answer your questions. Yeah.
yeah, and I just want to add on a bit to Phil's points. I think this like the whole networking skills, it goes beyond just for
Engineering.
job hunting or engineers. It's the
Yeah,
ability to really fight for the opportunities, to try to grasp the chances out there, and then to show off yourself, be confident. And then how we start to building this is just starting from you could be proud of yourself, your own projects that you have been built in the past few months, and then show to the recruiters. But in the future, it could be you learn how to talk to your boss, talk to your managers, how you could leverage this with your current project so you could get promotions, you know, who knows?
true. Yeah.
Or even find the co-founders in the future. All those people you're talking for, it's not merely for career success. They may be there in the future and then you could work together or help each other. Like who knows? It's a connection and it's
Yeah.
always good to have.
And I also see another question in group chat. Yeah, so we will be having some other mentors from different perspectives, as mentioned. There will be some FAANG product manager and designer, and we will connect students with the real end-to-end users to talk them to even create customer interview to let really mock a real situations to build something that someone will actually use. So yeah, the mentors will be more than just us and more than just coding, more than just software engineering. It will be you can get in touch with someone, an ex IBM head of AI, head of data actually, on practicing your skills to pitch, to try to pitch your idea to like someone from the really top level and see how they will like it. So yeah, uh, there will be more than just us.
Yeah. So regarding networking, I can add a little bit, and maybe toward the end of the not today, I mean toward the end of the program. If I have time, I can join as well because I'm pretty good at networking. And I actually landed I was an international student as well. I went to Cornell and economics. And when I first applied for a job, I also went to Michigan, so Michigan Cornell alumni. The alumni network is really a very, very strong networking kind of have network for supporting the students. And then there's tons of alumni association activities. And then also if you're in Bay Area, maybe LA as well, but Bay Area is like if you want AI, I've heard it's over 100 conferences a week, no, a month. So, and then we can share off some of the resources and teach you how to talk to others. A lot of them actually is requires training. So, Noah put the 11th and 12th grade. I know that those kids are very busy applying for colleges, but the training starts young. It's be polite, be on time, and be thankful. And I at first I mentioned, don't assume something. If you don't know, ask questions. And then don't be afraid of making mistakes. there's a lot of basic skills we need to train the student, right? And then communication skills, right? People telling me, this year, people say, oh, my counselors say business majors because computer science cannot get as, good jobs as before. But now everybody's swamping to apply for Haas and Ross and, all this undergraduate Wharton, the top business programs. And because the data is showing this year, the business majors are landing really good jobs. You know why? One of the reasons business majors do talk well. Because they get into the college, all that life is networking, club casing, right? So this is more, STEM students are lacking. So if you're part of the family, part of the training program, we will train you. We'll train you and we'll hold you accountable and responsible. So hopefully all three of us answered Andy's questions,
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. So any other questions? We're kind of on time, exactly an hour. Anything else? Okay. So I think it's getting late. Some of you are in East Coast. It's almost 11 p.m. or it's passing 11 p.m. So what we'll do, it's a Saturday night. We'll send out the application to all the attendees and all the folks who registered. And all the program costs will be on the website. I don't know whether it's there, but if not there, we'll update it and we'll add it. We'll make everything transparent. And deliverables, requirements from the interns and kind of eligibility as well, right? And the outcome. So, and then we go through one by one. Noah, every single applicant will be interviewed, right?
Yep.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much, Nana. And we're looking forward to see all your applications.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Mr. Phil. And thank you all the parents and students. And we'll upload the video on our Haddee channel. If you like it, and hopefully give us a good Google review. We'll send out the review links through email as well.
Wonderful.
Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, have a great night. Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck,
Okay,
y'all.
thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.